All right, everybody, welcome back to Cool Sports Chat, episode 35, I believe. Today we're going to be talking what was week 4. Unfortunately, I watched bits and pieces, watched a decent amount Sunday. Didn't watch Thursday because we were out in Fort Sumner, New Mexico, putting together a pretty exciting project, which you guys will be seeing here soon, but until then, go over to the Chasing Billy YouTube page. You guys can see more about it there. Looks like we got a good amount of people here today. Looks like we got Bobby, Brendan, and Scott. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Doing awesome.
So, Brendan, what's up with the Edward Jones Dome in St. Louis? Are you saying you are rooting for the St. Louis Battlehawks? Oh, he might not be there. He might have walked away. Bobby, we'll start with you. Broncos win, but in
Yeah.
ugly fashion.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts there?
It was ugly. Both quarterbacks struggled because it was wet, and everything. We escaped with a win.
Yeah, I mean the defense looked good for both
Yeah.
sides. The offense on both sides,
Struggled.
struggled. Like Bobby said, the weather was definitely playing a factor. It was kind of hard to tell how bad it was up until they got like really close on a player.
Yeah.
You could just see him dripping, or like the
Yeah.
ball was just waterlogged.
Yeah.
Scott, how are you feeling with the Colts and the Cardinals?
Yuck, really, both ways. Cardinals defense is just non-existence, and you can't try to give Kyler Murray too much to try to make up for, because, like I said, as I've said in the past, he's going to try to do it all himself instead of more spreading it around. He has some of the tools now, especially with Harrison Jr. But when he really gets down to that red zone area, he's going to try to get it into the goal line, over the goal line himself, even if there are people open. And shoot, the Colts. Well, I guess the best thing you can say with the Colts is they decided to hire Flacco as a backup. He's backed up a few other teams in the past and has done pretty well with them. Could we see it happen again? Well, let's find out. So,
Yeah, and it sounds like Richardson wasn't hurt too seriously. They were just being cautious.
yeah, I've heard like just really a hip pointer and stuff like that. Thankfully,
Yeah.
I've never had a hip pointer, but from what I've heard, those are pretty painful.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Obviously, kept him out that game, but we'll see how it happens come next week.
And speaking of injuries, Bobby, any update on your guys' running back who got hurt?
Bert. They said he's got full movement of his extremities. He said he might be put on IR, but they don't know yet.
And there's Brendan. Brendan, first question: St. Louis Battlehawks. Is this what we're going for today?
Sure is.
So, second question: what happened to Philadelphia?
I was listening to one of the reporters out of Philadelphia, and he goes, I think Nick Sirianni's trying to get fired. I think he's just quit football because there's no way. I don't know who to blame. Like, do you blame Vic Fangio and how he's running that defense because he's not putting any pressure on the edges or up the middle? Do you blame Jalen Hurts for not being able to run an offense? Do you blame the OC for every other day I'm hearing, it's either the OC or Nick Sirianni, play calling. No one's telling the truth on who's play calling. So it's just, I get that, your top two receivers are out. And I understood why they were both out. Like, even though if they could play, you have a bye week coming up. Let's rest them a week. Be back, week 6 for the Browns and head on from there. But that was the fact that the Bucks had 250 yards of offense before you had a single yard of offense. I was happy I was watching the Broncos game.
And that says something.
Because that was a snooze fest too, but
yeah, that was a game that was hard to watch. Matt, how are you feeling? Vikings 4-0?
I'm living life right now until they choke like they probably will. So for now, I'm happy, good mood.
Yeah, no, Vikings still looking good. For a while there, though, it looked like Green Bay might eke it out because it was 28-0, and then Green Bay slowly chiseled down and got within 5.
That's a very much a typical Viking game, though. If you haven't watched them, they like to make it scary where you're throwing stuff at the TV or breaking something.
Hey, it gets you involved, right? Yeah, and then let's see. Let me pull up last week's schedule. Bobby, anything with last week that really stood out to you?
God, not really.
No.
I just kind of predicted everything the way it came,
Well, here's one. I'll ask Brendan since he's going to be our best voice on this one. I was in Fort Sumner in the middle of a cemetery when this game was happening. Brendan, tell us about the Giants Cowboys. How bad did both teams look?
I don't know if both teams looked so bad, but it was. I don't know what it was with the refs, but they were dirtying up the field with the yellow thing all over the place. It was ridiculous. And at one point, I honestly believed that the Giants were going to win based on field goals. I honestly believed that the Cowboys were so bad that the Giants were just going to outscore them. I honestly thought it was going to be 29 or 21 to something, and all of the Giants were going to have to do is kick field goals. I mean, we saw the Redskins do it against them, so why not?
Right.
That was. I mean, if that's my competition this year for the Eagles, I don't feel bad about my division.
Well, there's another team we'll talk about. But, Matt, we learned at the Castleview game, what is the dialogue when the refs are just throwing all those flags? What did they call it?
Wasn't it trash on the field or something?
Laundry on the field.
Yeah, laundry, dirty laundry, that's right.
Yeah, and then they wanted to go meet so they could discuss dinner. That's all we kept hearing in the high school football game.
Yeah, well, I think what saved the Giants and Cowboys, too, from looking like a very pathetic game was the Broncos and the Jets. That game was a sleeper big time there.
Well, especially Bo
Rogers. Nix throws for 60 yards passing, and he still wins the game. That's a ridiculous stat line right there.
Well, who was it? Cortland Sutton had 60 yards receiving from 3 receptions, and then the other Bronco players had 7 receptions for 0 yards or something.
No, they all had 0 yards because the one guy that actually had positive yards was canceled out by the 2 that had. One had -4, one had a -3. So it wiped out the other guy's 7 pretty much. So essentially Cortland Sutton was the only one with positive gain.
Yeah. Now the offense is something that they got to work on. That's something that I think Bronco fans were excited with. Sean Payton was supposed to be this, inventive offense, but as we've said a lot, time catches up with these coaches, and eventually the league will pass them by. We've seen it with a bunch of really good coaches where just at some point the league has evolved to a point that they're not I don't know, up to par, I guess. Let's see, Scott. Anything that stood out this week to you?
What really stood out was just there was four games that were just complete snoozers. I mean, we've already talked to a couple of them. One of the two Monday night games was kind of the same way. It seemed like all they really cared about was getting, like you say, like Brendan says, getting field goals. The biggest key, especially Monday night, was Jared Goff being a perfect 18 for 18 in passing. You know how many quarterbacks get notoriety after a pass only doing 18 passes? You know, there's a whole lot more game that can be done besides 18 passes, but he hit every single one of them, so he gets the award for that. But yeah, otherwise, really kind of a sleeper weekend, really was.
Yeah, I guess the games that hit, but like you said, there were definitely a couple games where it's just not much going on, you know. Yeah, the Miami ones, you got to feel bad there. Like without Tua, Skylar's just not doing anything. So if they want to save their season, they're gonna have to go look at other options. Is this a trade? Do they bring back Ryan Tannehill? And honestly, I think a trade would probably be the better option there. Brendan, you're muted.
Tannehill might go back to Tennessee after last night.
I think go Russell Wilson to
Hey,
Miami.
the Steelers still are not committed to Justin Fields. They again talking that they're just giving Russ the time he needs to get healthy. They're giving him more work this week, and they'll see what happens. So I think Justin Fields. I like Justin Fields, but the play in Pittsburgh was good, not great. But that first half this week, had he not turned it around, I think they would have benched him because it did not look good. Especially, I mean, I don't know. I guess some people didn't think they were going to lose, but I think most of us picked the Colts. So, did any of you guys watch the Atlanta game? Atlanta, New Orleans? No.
Didn't see that.
Yeah. So New Orleans, finding ways to lose as usual. Got off to that hot start. Some people are picking them to go to the Super Bowl, and now they've come back to earth. Brendan, at least Atlanta winning and looking good makes you feel better about your guys' one loss. Let's see. Caleb Williams gets a win at home versus the Rams. He's looking better. I mean, we've talked about this with rookie quarterbacks. Too often people are so quick to just like throw them away. Like by week 2 in Denver, we were already hearing fans saying, get rid of Bo Nix, cut him. People were saying Jaden can only run and Caleb ain't going to turn around. And we've seen, I mean, Bo Nix last week looked good. This week, but Caleb's looking much, much better. Let's see. Minnesota, like I said, won. Got close at the end. Pittsburgh pulled out the 3-point victory, or Indianapolis pulled out the 3-point victory. Pittsburgh was coming back for a little. Denver pulled out a victory. We'll say that 10-9. That's not a score you see usually in the office pool there. Tampa Bay just 33-16, just routing the Philadelphia Eagles. Cincinnati got on the win column board. Matt, with two of these cat teams, what do you think going on there?
I think somebody put too much catnip in the water over the weekend, but that's my best knowledge is catnip.
Sorry. Trying to make it a little more fun.
Jacksonville almost got a victory and then collapsed at the end. Scott, you have Trevor Lawrence in fantasy football. Is it coaching? Because there's too much talent on that team to just be 0-4.
You're right. There's too much talent. It's got to be that way. Etienne got hurt, got his shoulders hurt. But then Tank kind of picked up. If I recall, he still put up like about 90 yards. So there's got to be. I think there's something going on with the Lawrence and Kirk relationship. They're just not being able to get the right deal going on with their pass plays. Not exactly sure if it's more the Lawrence side or the Kirk side, but those are two that just aren't clicking right now. And then their tight end has been hurt, and so good question. So in other words, the answer is a really good question. I don't really have real answers. Just a lot of things that have to get paired up together to get worked out right.
Right. Yeah, and I really thought they were going to pull that one out. CJ Stroud, phenomenal, year last year. Looked good to start off the year, and then he's kind of come back down to earth. Not bad, but not to his level. And Jacksonville was on a roll, and then they just can't close it. And so that's where I start to wonder if is it coaching? Washington, Brendan, here we go. In your division, just murdering the Cardinals. Like, just absolutely just routing them. And this is the same Cardinals team that routed the Rams. Some of us picked the Cardinals this week, and I don't know. Washington's looking good. The rest of their division's not looking good. Do you think Washington wins the division, Brendan?
Yes. And the reason I say yes is because it's either going to be Philly or Washington. And it's one of those two because every year since 2004, there's been a new winner. Last year was Dallas. The Giants are the Giants. They look too crappy. So it's either going to be Philly or Washington. And Jaden Daniels hadn't made a mistake until this past week. And after that mistake, he just marched his team right back down the field and scored a touchdown. So it didn't even bother him that he threw that interception. So they are looking like the better team. So yes.
Yeah, and then the 49ers just doing what the 49ers do, at least against the Patriots. And even without McCaffrey, it sounds like McCaffrey might not be back till early November. Is kind of the reports I was seeing. He has tendonitis in both calves or something.
The Achilles.
Achilles, yeah.
Achilles, yeah. I didn't know that that was a contagious kind of disease there. It's gone from one Achilles to the other, but from what to be serious, from what I've heard is getting an Achilles issue like that. Well, it's obviously hard to walk, hard to stand, so you change over, put more weight on your other leg. Well, then that puts the strain on that Achilles. So just a little too much compensation between his two legs. Gives him some rest. Apparently, he's getting rest in Germany. Not exactly sure. Knew that Germany was one of the centers of great Achilles treatment locales within the world. But you learn something every week. So we'll see if he when he comes back to this side of the planet.
Hey, maybe he'll bring a Volkswagen straight from Germany. Yeah, no, I didn't. I couldn't believe it was both when I read that today. Because I guess that was a newer report. Because I only knew it was the one. And yeah, you hope he gets back because obviously he's a big part of their offense and just a dynamic player. And from Castle Rock, so all those positives. Here's another one of those games. Looks like a snoozer. The Browns and the Raiders. Bobby, the Browns lost. The Raiders won. How do you feel?
I heard there's a lot of turmoil now going on. I guess I heard Devontae Adams wants out now.
Well, yeah, now they're shopping him. It went from more than just wants out to they've actively called people in the last few hours. So who knows? He might be.
Take the $25 million cap hit, though.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see because if he does go the Jets, they can get rid of Hassan Reddick, who hasn't been playing. So he got traded there for nothing. They could trade him to the 49ers for Brandon Ayuk.
Can I say something about the Reddick thing? I think the Eagles should trade Huff for Reddick.
Bring Reddick back.
Because Huff hasn't done anything for Philly and Reddick hasn't done anything for Jets. They left and went to each other's team in free agency. Actually, we traded Reddick to the Jets, but we should trade them back to each other. And
you're like, no trade backs.
I would rather have Reddick right now than Huff.
Right. And that says a lot because Reddick ain't playing.
Well, Huff robbed us of $50 million, so...
Well, speaking of highway robbery, Deshaun Watson is getting paid way too much money to be terrible. Like, he just looks terrible. There's been a couple instances where he's looked passable, but they're just going to waste that team. And I think what Baker Mayfield is doing, it's just not fun there. Let's see. Kansas City beat Chargers. No surprise there. Chargers kind of banged up. Chiefs are the Chiefs. Hey, and for once, the Twitter sphere, whatever we want to call it, is showing plays of Patrick Mahomes getting hit out of bounds a couple times and not getting a penalty thrown. So now they've reverted back to the Chiefs.
Well, Patrick Mahomes also took out his own teammates, so
Oh, that happens sometimes. Okay.
Rice says no because Patrick Mahomes headbutted his leg and knocked him out of the game. Or the season.
Knocked him out for the season, which Matt's not too excited about, right, Matt? He was your top receiver.
Yep, not too happy now because, next year all the legal stuff's going to catch up. So we may have seen the last of Mr. Rice now at this point.
Well, and speaking of a matchup I was kind of excited about was the matchup between former University of Louisville quarterback Lamar Jackson and former University of Wyoming quarterback Josh Allen. I enjoy these ones just because, both colleges we have familiarity with. We see lots of Josh Allen stuff when we're up there. So, but man,
always
the Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys haven't, I highly recommend it. Laramie's a fun town and still affordable. It's not like the CU Buffs games where it costs an arm and a leg off the black market to go. But yeah, the Ravens looking legit after a slow start, unleashing Derrick Henry the last 2 weeks. I mean, Henry was 4 yards short of running for 200 yards this week. And they're just playing really well. And on the flip side, Josh Allen trying to do what he can to win, but they just don't have enough weapons. And they need more help on defense. I don't know. Scott, any thoughts on that game?
No, I think you hit it just right on the head. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was watching that game quite a bit, and yeah, Jackson just really took over just with his own legs. And Justice Hill was a very nice compliment there coming out of the backfield. He did really well, more more unexpected than you would normally think, but it was great for him. Um, but yeah, and then really nothing in return from Buffalo. Um, you know, Cook was really kind of carrying them the last few games, but didn't see much of it this past week. And Allen just can't quite get it to the people who can catch the ball. So yeah, ended up being a Ravens domination. That's for sure.
I will say Keon Coleman of Buffalo made two really nice looking catches
True.
where he like spun around, and I almost thought it was a replay the second time because I was like, I swear I just saw that play.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking good there for Baltimore, who's back at 500 now. And then we get to Monday night. Like we said, the Miami game was kind of just sad.
Yeah.
It was pretty close, and then Tennessee ended up running away 31-12. They got to do something at quarterback because it's just not looking good. Detroit, Seattle was good. Detroit definitely pulled away and showed why they're the better team. And yeah, that kind of sums that up. Well, let's look at fantasy real quick. What happened last week?
Yeah.
So, Brendan, we'll start with you as one of our remaining 4-0 teams. You pretty easily won it this week. How are you feeling going into week 5?
I feel okay. I kind of knew it was going to happen. We'll see. We'll see a little later in the week how things turn out. I did start shopping pits around. So, and
Hey,
some other
Shane.
people.
Shane said he listened to an offer.
We'll see. Yeah, I don't expect to win this week, but with my number 2 and number 3 receiver on bye weeks, and I guess my not number 1 quarterback because Jaden Daniels has been doing amazing and taking over the spot for Hurts. So yeah, we'll see. I play you, so don't beat me.
I'll get revenge for week 2 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I was the lowest scoring team that week. Bobby, you came up short this week against Ty. Ty got his first win of the year.
Yeah.
No panic. You still have a young team. So how are you feeling? Good. I think Bob's feeling good.
Yep.
Let's see. Grayson. Hey, we called it last week. I said Grayson would beat me this week, and he did. Because that's what happens. I do good, win, lose. Do good,
you
win,
didn't do bad.
Lose. I didn't do bad, but
he just had Goff, who went for 18 for 18, a passing and receiving touchdown.
And if I had put Walker in, it might have been a different game. But
exactly.
I didn't realize Walker was playing this week, so that's my bad.
Well,
Dark Horse,
3 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Dark Horse ended the undefeated streak of marks, 148-128. So moving up 3-1. I think we'll get to standings, but I think that means he's in first.
Ron's
Matt, you had the highest scoring team this week, and you almost doubled David's team. How do you feel there?
Good. I mean, we got off to kind of a slow start somewhat, but I mean, I'm glad to see the boys aren't completely asleep, and it's still not a team I feel 100% confident that will just destroy everyone. And now that Rice is out, I might have some work to do looking at receiver positions, but it's an up and up right now.
Right.
You know, Matt has the most points scored in our fantasy league at like 600 and something
For the
through
year.
4 weeks. He
So
has like
let's
612 points scored through the first 4 weeks. I mean, he's in third place in our league, but
you want to know who has wait, let's see. Who has the second most?
your dad at like 549 or 550 something. And then me at 505.
Well, I have 531.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, my dad has 560. The most points scored against is 570, and that's Blazing Red. So that would be why they're 0-4 there. Let's see. BP Bears got a victory. Scott, how do you feel about that matchup there?
Yeah, that kind of hurt quite a bit. Of course, the with McCaffrey being out, he's my main gun. But then I also needed Barkley to really kind of cover the backfield, and obviously we know he didn't do what we're supposed to be doing there. So, but I did happen as soon as I heard that the Chiefs had picked up Kareem Hunt, I jumped on picking him up, even though he wasn't going to be on the practice squad for a couple of weeks. I held on to him. Now it seems like I think he's going to take over the backfield for Kansas City beginning next week. So that'll help me kind of help cover some of what I'm losing with McCaffrey. So I was happy about that. Glad that McLaurin has kind of picked up for the last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, I've had Quentin Johnston from the Chargers, and was kind of really hoping for him to carry me on, but he didn't have a very good game. But my high score out of the week was good old Mr. Koo out of Atlanta, the kicker. Got to be loving the kicker covering your team. That was my power back of the weekend.
Hey, gotta love it, Young Hoku winning for the Falcons and doing good in fantasy. So, and then last but not least, Birmingham Bats joins Brendan as the other remaining undefeated team, 4-0, beating South Park Cows, who put up a valiant fight, 121 points, and Gino was trying last night, but I don't know. My dad's team might be for real. Let's see what the standings are. Brennan, in your division, you got a 2-game lead. Grayson is in second place, 2-2, and then my mom 0-4. And then in my division, Dark Horse is number 1, 3-1, with Mark 2 at 3-1, me 2-2, and Iowa Eagles now 1-3. Division 3, we have Matt now 2 games up with a record of 3-1, with both Cryptid Critters, who's second, and Yorkville 49, who's third, at 1-3. And then that's the final division where my dad has a 2-game lead, 4-0. Shane is second, 2-2. And then 3 and 4 are BP Bears and Desert Dogs at 1-3. So that is where we stand. Let's see how the week shakes up. All right, so Brennan, you and me play. And I haven't made anything, but it says I am coming out victorious on this one, Brennan. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen. So, I mean, I'm not even running my team. I'm only allowed to make trades.
Projections, right? Let's see. It says Blazing Red will get their first victory with a pretty dominating win over the Bulldogs and Grayson. So, hey, that helps you out, Brennan, there.
We'll see. His quarterback is on bye, so he'll get points when he puts Baker in.
Yeah, and Baker can. Let's see.
Baker plays the Falcons on Thursday. He could put up points.
He could, or he could not. We don't know.
Well, I mean, it could be a Broncos game and not score. You're right.
Right. I guess let's see. Who do we have on bye week, Brennan? Anyone big? I have my
Eagles,
defense.
Titans, Devontae Smith, Calvin Ridley are my big two.
Yeah, so I just have the Lions defense off to put Seattle in. Like you said, Grayson has Goff. And then that looks like that's kind of it for the big ones in that one. It says Mark should get another victory over Ty. Let's see if any. Ty has Sam Laporta, but then Williams from Detroit, Mark has, so they'll probably even out. Oh, Bobby, has you projected to win over Dark Horse? Now, Dark Horse has like 3 people on a bye, but this is good news, Bobby.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to beat Blake?
Blake has been quiet this year. Is that because he's winning, or is that because he's just quiet?
He's quiet.
You're going to jinx it, Brendan. Watch tomorrow.
I want to know.
He's been quiet.
He's got a kid now, too. Don't forget that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, no, he has not brand new baby, but he new.
Uh-oh, Matt. Here we go. The matchup for what could be first place. Yeah, Thundercats, Birmingham Bats. You guys always have a good matchup. Do you guys have anyone on bye? None of your starters. So that's good. He has Herbert, but he's going to be playing Rodgers against Minnesota. You have Allen against Houston. How are you feeling in that matchup?
Oh, dude, your dad's team always makes me. The Bats and the Cats are always a hell of a matchup. So, always looking forward to it. We'll do some trash talking here as soon as my team takes them down.
Yeah, send them a message. Be like, I did it. Let's see. Our penultimate one is Desert Dogs South Park Cows, which right now has Cows up. But we might see some changes. How are you feeling with that one, Scott?
Well, I'll tell you what, like we've kind of mentioned it before, I'm interested to see how much Kareem Hunt will really carry the Cardinals backfield. I think that he will kind of be the number one back coming out of there before T. Ryan and Steele. It seems like they're coming back. Hunt will take over for that. And then I got Bigsby filling in for at the end there in the backfield. So really going to need to have good surprising support out of my backfield players. And then hopefully have the receivers, McLaurin and Harrison Jr. Continue and keep doing better than what they're doing. Right now I got Alec Pearson in my flex spot, so hoping that Flacco can be able to see him a few more times. And then still gotta love the toe, my toe, Yaku Kim, who how that goes.
Well, that's what's fun about NFL too, is it's any given Sunday. We've seen teams just blow up one week and then look terrible the next. So it's always kind of that guessing game, but you should be good. And then last one this week, Cryptid Critters looks like they're going to project to beat P Bears by about 20 points. So a decent victory, but Montgomery's on a bye week, so we might see BP Bears get some more points there. Well, before we move on to picked. Matt, do you want to do a moment of silence?
Okay.
I'm sorry for what?
Well, for the two players.
Yeah, we can do that.
Well, why don't you kick us off by just explaining who passed away?
We're talking the hockey world.
We can do hockey, baseball.
Oh, just
basketball.
recently. I know what you're talking about now. Sorry, I'm trying to focus on Puppy here. Dikembe Mutombo right here in Denver, one of our all-time greats. He may have only been with us like 5-6 seasons, but he's always going to be a Nugget forever in our hearts. And just most recently, we lost Pete Rose, who I feel should be in the Hall of Fame. And then, the world of hockey, you lose the Gaudreau brothers. So it's kind of just been a sad 4 weeks of everything.
Right, and on top of that, we do a lot with Billy the Kid. So one of the OG Billy the Kid actors, prominently, Chris Christopherson, passed away on Saturday as well. So we figured we'd just do a little brief moment of silence for them. All right. Well, and if you guys have any memories you guys want to share, put it in the comments below. Me and Matt were obviously talking one memory last night with the Nuggets upsetting the Supersonics. And even the news showed it, right, Matt? We saw that with our own eyes. The news said it was okay to talk about that moment.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
Yep.
Like I said, superstars are made superstars for memorable moments, and there's nothing wrong with looking back and celebrating that memorable moment and to honor that person's career and life and everything else.
Right, and there's a lot of moments you can remember with sports legends. There's a lot of games I remember watching that I can still remember. Singular plays, being with the Seahawks. Obviously, one would be the Beastquake against the Saints. Just that run with Marshawn.
Good boy, Jasper. Good boy, good boop.
All right, so let's see. We kick off Thursday night, Bobby. Tampa Bay, Atlanta. Who do you have winning and why?
I think Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, why?
I just think the way they played this week, he went out and got it done. This past Sunday, he looked good. Mayfield looked really good.
Brendan, what about you?
I'm going to say Atlanta. It's at home. I think their offense is finally clicking, and they're finding ways to beat things. They beat the Eagles, and they hung with the the Chiefs for most of that game. I think Atlanta can do it. So, and short week coming from Tampa to Florida or Atlanta. I know it's not a long flight or anything, but there's a lot of things going on there. So,
yeah, a lot of stuff going on still with that hurricane in the 4 states that were affected. Georgia was
2 more coming through.
Yeah, there's 2 more. One that will hit United States. I think the other 2 have veered off, but it's weather. We will see. But I know there's still a lot of cleanup and damages and flooding in Georgia and the Carolinas. So, Scott, what about you? Who do you have winning?
I'm kind of going back and forth on this one, really. I'm gonna go ahead and lean with the Buccaneers, just because, Mayfield seems to be doing great with Evans and Godwin. They seem to be tied up pretty well. So in that sense, I'm gonna slightly lean for the Buccaneers on this one.
Okay, Matt.
No, give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on this one too. I feel Baker Mayfield's played really well. He's continuing to look pretty dang good, like the quarterback that you kind of saw little brief glimpses of with Cleveland that they maybe gave up on him too soon. So give me the Buccaneers.
Yeah, $200 million too soon, that's for sure. Give me Baker and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. Outside of the 1 week against Denver, they've been rolling, and sometimes you need those little wake up calls. Atlanta, it's at home. They definitely need it. As far as Georgia, we've seen it with like New Orleans and stuff come back after a Hurricane Katrina and winning against the Falcons that night. But I don't know. I still am not 100% sold on Kirk and his mobility. He's slowly getting better, but I don't know. We'll see. I could be wrong. And that brings us to Matt. We'll let you kick this one off. New York Jets, Minnesota Vikings, and this one is live from London at 7 a.m. our time. So, are you waking up early? And who do you think's winning?
Yeah, more than likely I will be up early for this one. I am going to probably be leaning towards the Vikings still. Yes, it was wet fields, but the Jets look like crap. And towards the end of the game, Aaron Rodgers was looking a little hobbly. So don't know if maybe could have retweaked something, and they're keeping it quiet right now. I haven't seen any reports out of New York, but I think Sam Darnold's looking pretty damn good right now. At the time last week, I think, or not last week, but just this last weekend until last night, he had the highest passing percentage, completing over 75% of his passes. So I'm liking the direction they're going right now.
Bobby, what about you?
I'm going Minnesota too. Aaron Rodgers seemed real hobbly. So
Brendan.
I'm going to choose the Vikings. I don't have much to say about it, but yeah.
Scott.
Yeah, I'm going with Minnesota too. I think right now, Minnesota is the team to really be worried about. They seem to be clicking on both sides of the ball. So, out of most of the teams in the league, Minnesota is the one that's really on the roll right now. So, going with Minnesota for this one.
Yeah, and Minnesota's going against, I think, their best defense of the year so far in the Jets. But I've still got to pick Minnesota for this one. I just believe in their offense more than I do the Jets' offense. And so I think they'll win it probably by like 10 points, if not more, is my thoughts there. Ooh, here we go. I'll kick this one off. Chicago, Carolina, in Chicago. Unfortunately, without that beautiful Michelin Beetler Sky Needle behind me because it never got built. But I think Caleb Williams continues his progress, and they beat the Panthers, who I think continue their regression. They kind of looked hot that 1 week, but last week it was on the teetering point where people were actually thinking Bryce Young might come back in. So I think the little bump is gone for them, and I think the Bears are just a better team. So give me Chicago. Bobby?
I'm going with the Bears.
Brendan?
It looks good.
He's got to think about it.
Still got to think about it.
I'm going to take Carolina. Why not? Throw a wrench in it.
Oh, boy.
You've already taken two surprise ones.
Two.
Well, this would be your second one because you took Atlanta. Scott?
Oh boy, I no, I gotta go with the Bears in this one. And Carolina right now, I'm not exactly sure where they're at for the season. They could easily do nothing, I think, easily. So Bears are gonna be easy winners on this one.
And Matt, what about you?
No, it pains me to have to pick a divisional rival, but give me the Bears. They're going to take care of business, and Carolina they're not the team that I think they are. I think they could have made a mistake trading that first overall pick because they could have easily had Caleb Williams themselves to get Bryce Young, who isn't really showing anything.
Yeah, how CJ Stroud fell from number one, I don't know. That surprises me. Here could be an interesting one, Bobby. We'll give you this one first. Patriots, Dolphins.
Patriots in Miami.
Yep, it's in New England.
Yeah, without Tua around, I don't see Miami doing much. I'm going New England.
Okay. Brendan.
I think New England. Both teams are lackluster right now. I honestly thought Miami was going to do better. I know that Huntley isn't, Tua, but these quarterbacks are making Tua look really good, and a lot of people doubt Tua. So it's kind of surprising to see how bad these other quarterbacks are doing in Mike McDaniel's system. So with all the weapons and everything they got around him.
Hey, we might see Zach Wilson there soon.
Yeah.
Scott, what about you?
Well, I'm going to go with the Dolphins only because I can't see any. Kind of like Carolina, I can't see anything coming out of New England right now. Let's just see which team wants to lose it more. But I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with the Dolphins to just get over. I think I'll give the maybe instead of saying the Dolphins are going to win, I'm going to go that the Patriots are going to lose more than that. That's just kind of how that's going to be.
All right, Matt.
I'm kind of in the same boat Scott's in. I think Miami just has more weapons. They didn't utilize them as well as they should have this past week. The Patriots, I don't see them doing much still. So give me the Dolphins.
I'm going to have to pick the Patriots in a slobber knocker of a matchup that will probably end 9-6. All field goals, no touchdowns. It's going to be highlights galore if you love bad football, which pains me to say because you guys know the modern wide receiver GOAT is in Miami. But unfortunately, no one can get the time to pass him the football. So, which is just like crazy. They have all these good weapons and no passing game. But hey, next matchup, it looks like we should get a passing game with one of the teams as Cleveland travels to Washington. Bobby, who you got?
I'm going Washington this week over Cleveland. I haven't seen much from Cleveland lately. I think Washington's a better team.
Yeah, I don't see too many people arguing that, but Brennan, are you picking a division rival as well? And your fantasy team quarterback?
And I'm hoping my fantasy tight end too.
Who's your tight end?
Nobody yet. But yes, I am choosing the Commanders. Yeah, what I have seen of the Browns is they're not great. So,
Scott?
And it's in Washington, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with the Commanders in this match. Really watching. Granted, it was against the horrendously bad Arizona defense, but I really was impressed with how Daniels handled the offense for Commanders. Um, Robinson's been great coming out of the backfield. I think I can easily go with the Commanders on this one over the Browns.
My
I don't know if this is a clean sweep yet. I think you haven't picked yet, but I'm going to go Washington as well. Jane Daniels is looking great. And Sean Watson keeps looking like garbage.
garbage is nice,
Yeah.
nice way of putting it. If the garbage was also a PR disaster, then that might. But yeah, also give me the Commanders. I know when I did my quarterback rankings, I said Jaden Daniels will probably have the best year this year for a rookie quarterback, and he's looking really, really good. Now, once they start playing maybe some better defenses, will that change? Probably, but for now, especially against Cleveland, that just can't put up any points. It seems like even against bad teams, I can't take them, which is sad to say. I mean, Matt, we wore our brownie, the elf hats, and everything in Roswell, and look, nothing good.
Yeah, embarrassment for us.
I
Actually,
know.
no, Brownie the Elf's pretty cool. I'll keep that logo. It was a good one.
Right. Here we go. Colts, Jaguars. Scott, we'll let you kick this one off. You got both of them as your fantasy quarterbacks.
I got both of them. Whatever it is, Jacksonville has always been the Colts' kryptonite. Something in that ground just sucks out all of the Colts' power, no matter what's going on. They've had great teams in the past that have gone to Jacksonville and just crap the bed. And Jacksonville has just gone on and on and on. Think Bryce Drew would, when he was the back out of Jacksonville, he would run like crazy over the Colts, even when the Colts had better defenses. So I'm going to go with Jacksonville on this solely because, for whatever reason, the Colts just do not go to Jacksonville. It's going to be the Jaguars here.
Well, I guess we'll flip it to Bobby from one team that doesn't have luck with the Jaguars to another team in Denver who doesn't have luck with the Jaguars. Who do you think wins this one, the Jaguars or the Colts?
I think the Indianapolis wins. Indianapolis, I think they just have a good offense. You know, they click. Or their defense is good too. So Indianapolis is going to win this one.
Brendan.
I'll take Scott's word. I'll go with Jacksonville. It's a divisional game, and divisional games are so. I mean, they're so hard, I guess, just because the teams know each other, and even the bad teams look good sometimes. Last year, Denver beating Kansas City, no one saw it coming. Jacksonville going toe-to-toe with Houston. No one, they don't think of it until you go, it's a divisional game. Of course they're going to go, be able to keep up or toe-to-toe. So I'll go Jacksonville. Yeah.
Matt.
That's a good one, man. Let's not forget where both these teams were just last year in the playoffs and maybe the year prior, but still going to be a good one. I think this is going to be one of those close ones too. Again, I think both teams are going to possibly put up points. Both might be in the 20s, low 30s, but I think Indianapolis Colts come out on top on this one.
Yeah, and for me as well, I'm going to have to say the Colts, just because I think they have a better coaching staff. Right now, that's the only thing I can think of, unless all the talented players that Jaguars have just completely fallen off, which I guess is a possibility. but I think the bigger possibility is coaching isn't good. And so with that, I will take the better coaching staff with the Indianapolis Colts. Which brings us to what could be another fun matchup. One team squeaked out a victory last week. One team got brutally beat down on Sunday Night Football. And that is the Buffalo Bills going to Houston. Let's see. Brennan, we'll let you kick this one off. Who do you got?
I'm going to say Houston. I think Buffalo might be the better team, but I like the Texans. So,
Bobby.
I say Buffalo. Did I hear Buffalo suspended Von Miller for 4 games or?
The NFL suspended Von Miller.
Sure.
Yeah.
What did he do anyway?
He played football for 2 snaps. They said no more of that. Get him off the show.
Did he hit his girlfriend or something? And they hurt her or something.
No, I don't know. Let's see. Let me fact check that. While I'm fact checking that, Scott, who do you got?
Actually, I'm going to go with Houston. The last couple of weeks, I've seen Buffalo. Boy, they just keep struggling and struggling. So, in that sense, I'm going to go with Houston, especially at home.
All right, Matt.
I'm going to go with Houston in this one as well. C.J. Stroud is potentially one of the best quarterbacks there is right now, and I think Houston is just in a dominant mood right now.
Oh yeah, so Bobby, you were right. It was from a 2023 incident.
Yep.
They just now got around to suspending him. Seems like an odd. I guess it took that long. For me, I'm going to take Buffalo. Houston's looked really good at times, and then at other times they've not lived up to the expectations. We've even seen Stephon Diggs having some of his fits that Buffalo will know all too well as Minnesota on the sideline. And I think Buffalo is just a better team when they can run it, and I think they'll be able to run it against Houston. Passing might be a little bit more of a struggle, but I think Josh Allen can, wiggle around and get it to the 2 tight ends if needed. So that's where I'm going with that one. Bobby, we'll let you, start off. I know you got that brand new Las Vegas Raiders hat.
No.
Tony, I know Tony returned that to you.
I forgot to send the jersey. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I forgot to send the Patrick Mahomes jersey. They just did the ribbon cutting for the team store inside the Walmart, so I'll have to go get one. I'm sorry.
Hey, when we were going to New Mexico, we saw these really bright, you would see construction workers wearing, and they had 3 teams: the Broncos, the Cowboys, and the Chiefs, and they had bright, yellow hats. And I was like, we could get a Chiefs one for Bobby. But Bobby, Raiders going to Denver. Who you picking, and why the Raiders?
I see us beating the Raiders by. I see us beating them by 14. The Raiders were in turmoil with Devontae Adams and everything. They're just not the same team. They keep switching quarterbacks.
All right, Brendan, what about you?
I'm going to say the Raiders. I don't trust the Denver's offense. That is, yeah. I don't trust at least the Raiders' offense is constantly or consistently putting 20 points on the board, where Denver's we'll do really good one week and then we'll, sneak by with the skin of our teeth the other 3 weeks.
Right.
So,
Scott?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to really kind of lean toward the Raiders on this one. Just that I kind of think, like Brett said, I just kind of think the offense is just a little bit more consistent with the Raiders than it is with the Broncos right now. But it'll still be a close game. But I'm going to go with Vegas on this one.
Matt?
It's just such a hard one. Like everyone here in Denver may be right. Are we writing off Bo Nix? Did the Broncos bring him up too early? If it wasn't for a spectacular catch by Sutton, he wouldn't have a passing touchdown yet again. I don't know if you saw the highlights of it, but Sutton was wide open. It should have been a very easy pass right to the breadbasket of Sutton, but Nix overthrew him and made Sutton go up in the air to get the touchdown pass. I'm not seeing what I want to see out of Denver yet. I have a hard time wanting to pick them right now, so I think just out of not worry, just out of not trusting them yet, I'm going to go with the Raiders. But I would like to see Denver win, but give me the Raiders.
Yeah, and I'll probably have to take the Raiders as well. I think Denver has the better defense, but again, it comes down to offense and scoring points. And I think the Raiders will be able to do that. The Broncos need to just change things up, evolve a little bit on offense because they're looking pretty just stale and stagnant. So that is what that is. Let's see. Arizona going San Francisco, Bobby. Who you got?
San Francisco 49ers this week. Arizona hasn't looked right. So I go with the 49ers because their offense is I like their offense.
All right, Brennan.
San Francisco. I think they're the better overall team, and as they get healthier, they'll get better. But I also thought them 2 weeks ago when they went against the Rams and they lost to a division foe, who was injured. So,
Scott.
No, it's got to be San Francisco. I've seen the Cardinals defense. I wish I could see more of wish I could see an actual defense out of the Cardinals defense, but I'm not seeing that either. So it's going to be the 49ers very easily, I think.
Mate.
It should be a pretty easy win for the 49ers. I don't see it being much of a challenge.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pick the 49ers as well. Hey, tickets are as low as $84 if you guys want to go see the game. If you want a comparison, if you go Indianapolis, Jacksonville, you can find tickets for $25. I was just seeing that, showing all the ticket prices. Oh, this one could be interesting. Who do I want to start? Matt, divisional opponent. It's Green Bay going to the Rams. Who do you think wins this one?
Oh, Green Bay. The Rams have not looked like a quality football team yet this year, I don't think. They played slop, and if they won, it's because of slop. Green Bay, they rallied back a little bit. Jordan Love is looking pretty good. So I think Green Bay is going to do it.
Bobby?
I think Green Bay is going to win this one. Jordan Love is back. So he looked good. Bringing him all the way back against Minnesota.
Brennan?
I think it's Green Bay. I know they lost one of their receivers, but they still I think Jordan Love, even though he had 3 or 4 interceptions that game, that was him getting off the rust, and he'll be better this week and back at it.
Scott?
Yeah, I agree. The Packers seem to be doing well. Love's been on a roll, and they've been on a roll, and the Rams have been on the opposite roll. For whatever reason, they're really just struggling. So it's going to be the Packers. It'll still be a decent game, but yeah, Packers will win fairly easily come the end.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the Packers as well. The Rams just have a ton of injuries. Be it, I think 3 receivers now. Running back's healthy, but tight ends haven't looked very good. They have some injuries on defense. So give me Green Bay. I think it's Christian Watson was the one that got hurt. Luckily, it doesn't seem like it's something that will be long term. He'll be playing, maybe not this week, but he'll be back within a little bit. Next game, final 2 o'clock game is Seattle hosting the Giants. I'll go ahead and pick it. I'm picking Seattle. The New York Giants look terrible. Not as bad as I think people get them out to be, but probably bad enough that they'll be picking a quarterback in the draft next year. Bobby?
I'm going Seattle. Giants are horrible.
Brendan?
I'm also choosing Seattle.
All right, Scott?
Yeah, it's going to be Seattle easily.
All right, Matt, are you going to complete this streak?
Well, first, are you hinting that Shador Sanders might be heading to the New York Football Giants in the draft?
I was thinking you and what is his name? From Texas. That's what I've been thinking.
Yeah, there's a good chance that he's going to go up there, and then a year after him, maybe 2, Manning's going to be going too. But Texas Longhorns are going to have a new quarterback next year and a young Mr. Manning, and I tell you what, that guy looks like he might be ready now. Bring him up. But give me the Seattle Seahawks to take down those football Giants, because they're not very much big right now. They're more like the Aints,
They're like the Ant-Mans. Little tiny Paul Rudds. Let's see. Ooh. Cowboys and Steelers. Bobby, who you got?
I'm going Dallas. Pittsburgh didn't look very good this week. So I think Dallas turns it on.
Okay, Scott.
Actually, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh on this one. The Cowboys, I keep wanting to see really more of the Cowboys and really kind of trust them week by week, and I just don't really see it. But I'm going to go with Pittsburgh, especially at home this week. I think it'll easily be the Steelers.
Matt.
Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. I think you're going to see McCarthy get fired here soon, and I think Deion Sanders is going to be out of Boulder and heading to Dallas.
Okay, so we're gonna have Deion in Dallas and Bill Belichick in Philadelphia. Brendan, speaking of your Cowboy rivals, you got them or you got Pittsburgh?
I got Pittsburgh.
But it's like the 2 worst teams you could pick between.
I would rather choose the Steelers. At least I have family from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but Philly fans do not like the Steelers.
I think we hate the Cowboys more.
Or the Browns, apparently.
Wait, why do we hate the Browns?
I don't know. This is what I've researched.
Okay. Well, okay. Maybe it goes back to the Steagles back in 1940, whatever, and when the Steelers and Eagles came together, Steelers rivals are the Browns. It could be that.
And I still got to read that book.
Did we do the Bengals Ravens game?
Did we not?
No,
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Where were they?
Noon. They were one of the 11 games.
Okay, well, we'll pick this one and then we'll go back because apparently we got so excited about that Miami-New England game. I completely forgot.
I did Steelers.
Okay. Ooh, who do I pick? I'm gonna say Dallas. And I don't know. Oh man, you look, Brennan, you scared him away.
I thought you scared him away by choosing Dallas. Didn't everyone else take Pittsburgh?
No, it's been 50-50. Okay, Bobby, Bengals, Ravens.
Baltimore over Cincinnati.
Matt, Bengals, Ravens.
God, I feel bad for Cincinnati. They're just kind of in a downward spiral.
Oh,
I think it's big Cincinnati. Matt, is it big Cincinnati or is it Russell Wilson? Which one's kidnapping you tonight?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, did Russell Wilson capture you? I think he did. I think he got kidnapped.
Hello?
Matt,
Hello.
can you not hear us?
hello, Matt.
Hello?
Matt, we can hear you, but can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Bengals, Ravens, who you got?
Well, I was saying that, talk about, kind of a shocking start to the season for these two football teams. I don't think we really expected either one to be on the losing side of things, but I think Baltimore's going to keep with the hot hand right now, and unfortunately, the Bengals are going to take another step backwards, but I don't think they're going to be out of the playoff race at all, though.
Brendan.
Ravens.
And Scott.
I'm actually going to make this my. I'm going to make this my big upset of the week. I'm going to go with Cincinnati at home. It's going to be a back and forth tussle, I think, and I'm going to just eke out Cincinnati for this one.
And I'm going to have to say Baltimore. And this hurts because Cincinnati can be really, really good. I think a lot is coming from their defense, and they always start out very slow. Unfortunately, the slow start is against divisional teams, so it's going to hurt them in the long run. And I think if Derrick Henry can keep running like he is, and the offense keep gelling, Ravens might come out of the AFC. But it's a long season still. We shall see. Let me make sure I haven't skipped any other games. Okay, I have not. Which brings us to, oh man, Sunday night is Dallas-Pittsburgh. That is a terrible Sunday night game. Look, it was so terrible Matt left. Just hearing that. All right, Bobby,
Yep.
we'll let you start. New Orleans or Kansas City on Monday Night Football?
I think I'm going to go with the upset here. New Orleans Saints over the Kansas City Chiefs this week.
All right, Brendan.
I'm going to go Kansas City.
Okay. And Scott.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kansas City. Hunt running the ball, and look out for Xavier Worthy. He's going to start being the big receiver now that Rice is out. So that'll be the play. It'll be Kansas City.
Give
Yeah,
me the
go ahead, Matt.
two-time Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs to take down the Saints. Sorry, I didn't know if it was my turn or not. I just heard dead silence, and then my screen refreshed.
Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
I think Keegan's frozen now.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think he's frozen up. So
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that then, Scott. Were you done, or did I interrupt you?
no, you were fine. You did great.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't hear anything that was going on.
Well, you're in there like twice, bro.
Oh.
Which Keegan's talking to me right now?
Um, Matt, did you pick?
Yeah, I give me the two-time Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Um, yes, New Orleans is looking good right now. Kansas City's still the better team.
And Scott, who did you say? Because I didn't hear.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs too. But it's going to be look out for Xavier Worthy. He's going to be catching balls all over the place.
All right, and I'm also going to take the Chiefs just because the Saints are who we thought they were, and that's not very good. So yeah, that's our picks for this week. Bobby, what are you doing for the game Sunday? Anything fun?
I don't know yet. I think I'm probably gonna. I might go to the Pines Bar and Grill Sunday.
And Brendan, what about you? What are you doing this football weekend?
I have to work, so I don't know how much I'll actually be able to watch.
Scotty, doing anything fun this weekend?
Well, actually, doing some things up at Flagstaff on Saturday for my sled hockey team. While doing it at the same time, I got to keep an eye on my brand new Indiana Hoosiers football team, going for 6-0. First time in 50 years that we can do that. But then Sunday, I'll be in my nice, comfy recliner, catching up on all the other activities. We'll see how that goes.
Matt, what about you? You at the Eagles?
I think so. I don't even know anymore. Just all these days run into each other and they all just like melt. So I don't even know what days are what and where I am. I just know I walk into a building and I'm working, whether it's King's, the bar, the school. I don't know. But I'd like to be there.
Yeah, and then I'll watch some of the games. I know if you guys want to see more of us live, obviously we will be back next week talking sports. But our comic podcast will be going live next Monday at 7 p.m. where we talk the new Joker movie. So if you guys want to see that, we are back then. But if not, we'll be back talking sports next Tuesday. We will see if any of us were right with any of our predictions. I do want to say real quick though, if you guys want a USA soccer jersey, they are on sale. I think it was Fanatics for like $29. So
Okay, probably it's a good deal.
really authentic.
Hey, dude, I was going to say, though, speaking of jerseys, I do like your Manning jersey that I've seen you wearing lately and all your clips and stuff. It looks pretty sharp. That's a nice blue and orange.
Hang a Manning jersey.
Hey, just real quick, too, while we're on the topic, the last 2 weeks, we've had double headers on Monday Night Football. Is that not just like a joke? Like, I'm so disappointed in the NFL for doing a double header. You have to flip between the two games. It's either on ESPN or ABC, and yes, they give you a little tally at the top of the box, and it's just I don't like these. What was it? One started at like 4:50, 5 o'clock. It's like,
Yeah,
what the heck are they doing? NFL, knock it off with that doubleheader crap on Mondays, please.
Well,
I
a lot of them have been on streaming apps too, so it's like how many people are actually watching the second one?
I was gonna say the only way I can watch Monday night is when it's on ABC. So I actually kind of enjoyed having one game on ABC. Um,
Well, that's
if
fine. Let's move it back to ABC. Let's start putting this regular programming back on what it should be, locally televised TV, so more people can watch and enjoy it. Thursday nights are a weird night anyway, so maybe that's okay for Amazon to have. But Monday Night Football has always been, ABC primetime. They need to move back to that.
Yep, I'm in favor. There was something earlier in the year that said it was cheaper for Carolina Panther fans to go to every home game to watch the Panthers than watch it from home because they have to get so many different streaming apps. I think that's ridiculous, especially in our day and time where everything seems kind of expensive. Let's not be doing that to everybody, you know?
Well, take the Avalanche for example. They just signed up a new streaming deal where, oh hey, we're gonna show you 20 games on Channel 9, but if you want to see any of the rest, you need to pay us $20 a month.
Yep.
And then you can watch the other 62 games there are.
Right.
But
that's
I'm a sucker. I'm gonna pay it. But it's stupid that we're going into this part of the world now where, oh, you want to watch that, you got to pay us for it now.
Yep.
if you're in, I think they extended to Arizona, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, or Nevada. You can get Golden Knights app and watch all the games for free.
What?
But you can't watch them out of those areas because they're trying to get more fans out of those towns or out of those states. And they've actually taken games off of ESPN Plus. So now Golden Knights games aren't on ESPN Plus. So I've got to rid of my ESPN Plus because that's the only reason I can watch them.
I remember I got ESPN Plus to watch because they said it was on ESPN Plus for the CU game one time, and then I got it, and it was not on there.
That's because you're in Colorado and they black out those games.
Yeah.
They blacked out the Vegas Colorado game because we're too close to the Colorado line.
Yeah, we couldn't even watch it locally. We had to borrow it from some people.
Yes.
Well, speaking of cheap prices, did you guys see the Utah hockey club team has released their prices for concessions? They're going to charge like bottled waters, $3 for nachos. Like they're going to have some of the cheapest prices of any sport. Period.
Oh.
Yeah, except for Atlanta. Atlanta has pretty reasonable prices. The Falcons.
Yeah, but it's the Falcons. Not the Michael Vick Falcons either. The like modern day Falcons.
Not the Matt Ryan Falcons either.
Matt Ryan for like 2-year Falcons. Those Falcons I consider the Julio Jones Falcons.
Are they Julio Jones or Roddy White?
Oh, that was a good tandem. Both were going for 1,000, 1,500 yards. Well, I think that is it for this week. We will be back next week, and it'll be at the usual time of 6:30, right? No, 6 o'clock. Back to 6 o'clock next week. It was just a little later. I had a meeting today, so that's why it ran a little late, but we will be back. But if you guys want more cool sports chat to the left, more about us here at Culz to the right, and don't forget to hit that like, give us a subscribe, and let us know, was it the Roddy White or Julio Jones Falcons? Tell us in the comments below.